Just Cause Ranch. I'm Joe, and today we're cooking up some chicken stir fry with our fancy budget camp kitchen in the back of the Land Rover LR4. Stick around for the rest of the video so you can see we have everything, including the kitchen sink. So now that we got the eating out of the way, it was tasty, but this is our little simple, compact, budget camp kitchen that we designed and built for the LR4 overlanding rig. But it's
car park camping.
Car park camping. We're in the remote wilderness once again. But in our little slide out setup, we got our rough country 12 volt refrigerator, a little slide out tray for our single burner propane stove that just drops right in there and pulls right out, slides right in. We got storage for all the kitchen accessories in the box, and the door flips down to another little workstation. And on this side we have our collapsible sink with our portable water source that has a compressor, so we have pressurized water, and works pretty nice. Decent stream, I'd say. So yeah, let's get to the build on this thing, and at the end of the video we'll go over all our little bits, and in the description I'll link everything that we used to put this kitchen together. And we're going to say this early on in this one, but don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more on our budget overlanding LR4. We've got a couple videos with the lift, with the roof rack, tent. Today, kitchen. So here are the supplies for our overlanding camp kitchen water supply stuff. This is going to be a little bit of a budget build based around this rough country fridge. And this guy was about $400, so a little bit better than an ARB one. We have full extension 36-inch slides. Those are from Amazon, 260 pounds of capacity. We got some shorter ones for the cabinet build. So the refrigerator is going to be on the rear of the slide and mounted sideways, and it'll have a cabinet at about the same height as the refrigerator in front of it. That cabinet's going to have some cutting board style slide outs, one to hold our sink, one to hold our stove, and then some storage above those. Everything's going to get mounted to these beefy full extension slides so we can get the fridge out to the edge of the rear cargo area so it is easier to access. First thing we are going to do is start with cutting the base frame and then the slide frame. The base frame is going to be out of some mild steel angle iron and some 1.5-inch strap. This whole thing is going to be removable, and we'll be able to change it out between vehicles as long as that vehicle has 36 inches of depth in the rear cargo area. The middle slide that everything sits on is going to be out of aluminum angle, and once again I have my high-tech cut sheet post-it note. So let's get to shortening some metal. Alright, so this is going to be our bottom tray here. This is what's going to mount to the car, and then the aluminum angle will be the slide tray that the cooler and the cabinet sit on and slide out of the vehicle. we have it all squared up and ready to go. So we're going to weld our two straps in to keep the distance equal and sure everything up. So we got our slide tray here and our lower mount, I guess you would call it, and our slides in place. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take, we got various mounting holes on all of it. I'm going to mark these out, set them where I want them, and lay out how they're going to sit, mark them with a Sharpie, so then we can slide them apart, mark the holes, drill the holes, bolt this thing together. After we bolt it together, we have the aluminum uprights that we will locate and weld in. And these are the corners for our cabinet. And that's how the cabinet will be secured into the slide, and the fridge will be behind it. Simple enough. That mark and that one maybe a touch harder to read than it should be. So I guess we'll go back to the ink saw for the aluminum. So we are back at the ranch here, gonna do the woodworking in the garage. It's a little bit of a mess. We got the Kubota backhoe and some various other things, but we have our edge glued pine, little piece of plywood. We'll cut that piece of plywood down, and that will be the bottom underneath the fridge. As you can see, we just welded up our corner supports for the cabinet. So the cabinet, and this is the plans for now, could change as we go, you never know. But this guy here will have the fridge in the back. The top will be roughly flush with the top of the refrigerator. Seems pretty convenient. But we are going to build a little four-sided cabinet. We'll have cutouts on each side to allow for slide out boards that will house the burner on this side and the sink on the other side. And then I think what we'll do is we'll have a roughly like 24 by 22 top, and then we are going to do a fold out door. That's going to be a drop down door, and we'll be able to store stuff inside up here in this random area. And then we'll also have another workspace with the flip down door. So we're going to start slicing our wood down to size. So we got our cabinet mostly cut out here. Got our lower shelf that's just kind of sitting in there. It's gonna look better assembled. And then we have our top to the cabinet cut out as well. And it's going to look roughly like that. We'll have a door after we get this assembled, but we are going to drill our holes for our dowels that I just cut, and it's going to be assembled with some dowels and some wood glue. Should be a nice and sturdy product afterwards. So what I'm going to use here is our little joint crafter. This is just a little dowel jig. We're going to use the 1/4 inch one, but you can set the depth and we can make sure everything lines up perfectly. So we got it all zipped together now, sanded nice and smooth. But that'll give you an idea. That's the top door. Gonna go over there and flip down. But we are going to put some color on this guy. Then we can start assembling the whole deal and see how it all turned out. So got some color and some shine on her. Got the front door over here. The little tray for the refrigerator popped in there. So now just need to slide that guy into our little aluminum bracket, and then we can mount the door and then work on getting our slides that will go right there into position, and that is where the sink and burner are going to come out of. Alright, as you can probably see by wardrobe change number 15, we're on like day 75 of our cabinet build that was supposed to take a couple days. But that's how she goes sometimes. Either way, it is pretty much a finished cabinet. We got our door up front, just need to add our supports there. And then that'll be a nice little like additional work table in our compact camp kitchen cabinet. That's just a little push release magnetic jobber. But right now we're going to work on our 2 slides that are coming out of the bottom, and that is these guys right there. We are going to lay out where the burner is going to sit, and then our collapsible sink. We'll get those cut out with the jigsaw, and then we'll get these lacquered up and installed. I happen to have this random peace sign that made years ago. That is the correct size, so we're going to use that as our template. So we got it all installed now. We just tried it out, cooked some stir fry, turned out awesome. Here it is with everything out, and this is extended all the way out. As you can see, it lines up perfect with the tailgate on the LR4. We have our little portable shower set up. I think we'll make a hook on the bottom somewhere around here for that guy, but that works pretty nice. Got that on Amazon. We can use that to wash our dishes, and depending on what we're using, we can put a bucket down below and let the water out into that. Otherwise, if it's just water, go to the ground. This guy holds, I don't know, 3 or 4 gallons of water, and has a rechargeable air compressor that you screw onto the bottom to pump it up and keep it pressurized. that thing has been pretty slick. We're gonna make a little mount to hold it because you can lock that on. So that should make cleanup of the kitchen pretty nice. We also went ahead and got these little UCO spork knife fork combo. They just slide into itself. You can use them separately. Otherwise, you can slide them together just like that if you want some extra length. They're durable too, apparently. We'll set our little cast iron pan on our little mini aluminum table. But right here we got our little gas one single burner propane stove, and that guy has a cutout and just drops right in like so. And then the rough country refrigerator sits nicely behind, nice even height with the cabinet. Let's pack this thing away so you can kind of see how it all works. So this guy just pops out, slides in. Then over here on the sink side, we will hook our faucet back up. And this guy just drops out. We'll air it out, collapses into itself. And I'm just gonna start with the burner on top, set it inside, and this guy. Good thing we coated all this with lacquer. Hold up to the water. That's another one. Slides right inside. And here we got a cheap portable aluminum table, and this picked it up because of its size while packed up. It's fairly small, but it serves its purpose. This guy just folds in on itself. I'll cinch that guy together, and that fits into the cabinet nicely as well. We can just slide that guy back in. So there's how it sits in the back of the LR4. I got the seat down. We'll look at it from the front, but fits nicely, and it's a nice tight fit. So if we get in some rough off-road terrain, we have the tailgate will hold everything shut. And if you look at it from the front here, we still have full use of the seats, and we have some storage left on this side as well. Next up, we are going to make a platform floor, just a single piece of MDF, and we're going to gut some of the rear seats, the third row seats, so we have storage underneath that. And that is how we will bolt the slide down. The MDF will be bolted to the tie downs. There's 4 of them, and then we will do some threaded inserts to bolt the slide down so we can pull it in and out as needed. And then next up on this guy is the solar panel install. We're going to put a panel up above right there. So we'll have a 100-watt solar panel, and then we're going to modify this rear plug to stay live all the time, and that's how we'll power the fridge via solar power. So there's our budget little cabinet slide for the fridge. I think it turned out half decent. But appreciate you guys watching. If you found this entertaining, useful, or anything, make sure to give us a like down below. If you want to see more on the Land Rover stuff, we're going to have this one. We got that Defender. We're doing the Discovery LS swap. At the moment, that should be, update on that should be the next video. Make sure to subscribe to catch all of that good stuff. And if you have any questions on this guy or some advice or improvements you think we could do, make sure to comment down below. We'll converse with you. More than happy to give you some opinions on your build if you want them. Although I don't know if mine are worth much. But yeah, with that being said, appreciate you guys watching. We will catch you on the next one. And maybe someday we'll actually use this thing to camp. So funny thing, Jamie wasn't gonna be home for dinner tonight, so she pre-made that stir fry for me. Movie magic.